So once again, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. If you are joining us live on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, if you are watching on the replay on YouTube, or you are listening to the Acts on This TV audio experience over on Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you listen to, massive shout out to you as well. Please come and join us live one Monday night if you can make it. We do this every Monday night, 9 p.m. UK time on Facebook, over on facebook.com/Act on This TV. Completely free. 1 hour of acting chat behind the scenes of some of the incredible premium content as well that I'm putting out every single week for members of the main website, actonthis.tv. If you are not a member, you are seriously hurting your career. Like, honest to God, it's getting crazy now. Last week, I can see people in the chat already talking about it. We had Guy Howe, the CEO, founder, and senior agent of WGM Atlantic, an incredible acting agency with offices in Manchester, London, and New York. I got a message today off a member of the community who I can't say who it is yet because she told me not to. Not sure if you are on the broadcast now. I'll go down the list and have a look. Who signed with Guy today after the information that they gleaned from Guy on that webinar on, when was it? Thursday evening. So, like, you know, within 3 days has now got a fantastic agent. Dougal, I know you were there, my man. We had you on as well. I don't know who you've signed with today. But honestly, every single time, and I mean like every time, I bring an agent onto one of these member-only masterminds. We hold them every Tuesday or every Thursday for members of actonthis.tv. Basically, we go live with either a top agent, casting director, actor, and I mean like A-list actor, writer, director, producer, you know, BAFTA winners, Oscar winners, big people. Every time I bring an agent on, people in the community sign with them. You know, Andrea, I can see you're here tonight, you know. Andrea, you signed with Janet Hampson, wasn't it? Petch signed with Kate Northern. This actress today, who I can't say yet, signed with WGM. I mean, like, literally every time we bring on an agent, people have signed with Regan, Nicola Bolton, like just so many people. And these are just after we've run these webinars. So if you're not getting involved and you're looking for an agent and you're like, oh, you know, I don't know if I should get involved with that, like, just get a membership for a month. It will change your life. Nicola, I know you're on here, told me on Saturday at the Acts on This social, we did a social event on Zoom. We do that once a month as well. You're like, this community has changed my life. It's not some bullshit hype. These people are making massive progress in their careers because they are committing and they are acting on the information that people are, you know, giving them. And these are the biggest names in the industry every single week. So we're going to recap a little bit on Guy's webinar tonight because there was some really interesting stuff we spoke about with Guy when it comes to agents getting representation right now. I'm going to show you behind the scenes of our mastermind session that we're doing tomorrow night with Catherine Willis, one of the biggest TV casting directors in the game, particularly if you want to work in comedy. She just cast Idris Elba's latest Sky One comedy smash hit In the Long Run. She's also cast the upcoming 2021 film, you know, Asim Chowdhury, People Just Do Nothing, one of the funniest comedies I've ever seen. It's out there. It's so good. People Just Do Nothing. Big in Japan, it's called. It's the film version, but it's not like just a little spin-off where it's a feature-length version. It's a proper film of People Just Do Nothing with a really cinematic look. It's going to be amazing. Catherine just cast that. Just cast massive stuff. We're going to have Catherine live tomorrow night for members of actonthis.tv, 7:30 till 9 p.m. And you will get a chance, if you join that, to jump on camera, chat to Catherine one-to-one, have a little, you know, sort of career coaching session about where you're at in your career, and obviously get to listen for 90 minutes on Catherine's casting process, exactly what you need to do in a 2020 world to get in the room. Bit of a different circumstance right now. We'll no doubt we're talking about self-tape auditions, ultimately, you know, sort of how you can be invited to self-tape for Catherine, the projects that she's working on, what she's working on. It's incredible, guys. Like, if you're not getting involved, like I say, I just think you're making a mistake. Good evening. Esther's in the house. Vincent's here. How you doing, Vincent? I hope you're well. Lena, Sharon, Brendan, my man. Wendy's in the house. Wendy, how you doing? Michelle, Caroline, Alex. How do I say the name that looks like Osin, but it's not Oisin? McGee. How do I say that? Can you let me know phonetically? Because there's names that I'm like, I just want to give people shout outs, but I'm going to butcher their name completely. How do you say that? Great name though. Would love to know how to pronounce it. Let me know how your week has begun. It's another Monday. Anything can happen. Get excited. That's what I love about Mondays. It's a brand new week. One phone call, one audition. That's it. Can change your life and your career. Oshin, I think, says Sam. There you go. Oshin back that up for us. Let us know. Saw someone tweet about some theatres having shows again. Says Alex, yeah, I've seen a little bit. I'm not quite sure like what the deal is with theatre right now, particularly since we've gone into like the rule of 6 today. But there is definitely things happening, and in the TV industry, there's definitely more and more being shot. I noticed Ruth Carney today, great director I work with on BBC Doctors, has just started back at Casualty today, directing her first block of Casualty, literally starting today. So stuff's happening, guys. All the serial dramas are back. Don't forget as well, Des on ITV. It's actually on now. Stay here with me, otherwise I'll have no mates. I'm going to watch it after this when it finishes at 10. I'm going to watch it on ITV +1. It stars Daniel Mays. It was directed, and Jason Watkins and David Tennant. It was directed by Lewis Arnold, and it was written by Luke Neal. Fantastic team. We had Daniel Mays on actsonthis.tv not long ago. I'll go at the site and show you that quickly because I want to get, well, at the end, I'll give you a sneak peek of something that might be happening soon. This is the members area on actsonthis.tv. If you scroll down to... I am sharing this with you guys, aren't I? I always forget about this. I'm like, am I sharing this with people? Yeah, I am. I'm sharing this now. If you scroll down to... There's Danny's. Have confidence in your own ability with BAFTA. Nominated actor Daniel Mays. That's a 2-hour mastermind session with Daniel Mays, talking all about his process, his entire career, loads of incredible tips. But we talk a little bit about Des in that. And then also, if you go into the director section, sorry for those on the audio experience, I know you're not seeing this, but if you log into the members area at actsonthis.tv, go into this section, which is features with directors, which is quite a bit further down. Look at all these features, guys, you get access to when you become a member. You will see... Oh, no, it's a round table. It wasn't in the directors. It'll be in the round table section. Here, crafting performance for the edit. We had Lewis Arnold and his chief editor, Sasha Svark, who edits all of Lewis's stuff, including Des. So Lewis is the director of Des. And I've got a little bit of a surprise for you premium members that I want to run past you at the end of this webinar and let you know. I want you to let me know your thoughts on it because it involves these guys again and a very special event we might run for you lot very, very soon based off the back of Des coming out this week. It's on tonight, Tuesday night and Wednesday night, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. every night. An incredible drama. So if you want to go and listen to those mastermind sessions, they're in your members area right now. If you're not a member, sign up. You'll get access to those. So going back to Guy's webinar on agents. Who's looking for an agent? Let me know in the chat. Who's looking for an agent right now? And he's like, oh, I can't get an agent because it's locked down, because it's bullshit. There's so many agents taking on actors right now. I think there's 2 types of agents in the world. There's one type who are equally as, their mindset is equally as scarce as a lot of actors is sometimes, and they're letting people go because they can't, they're just looking at the industry wrong, really. They're just scared. Actors get like that as well. And then there's another group of agents who are hustlers, who are actually expanding their client list right now because they know stuff's coming back and they're going to be, first on it. So let us know if you are looking for an agent right now, and I'll play you some tips from Guy. It's only like 3 2-minute clips out of a 2-hour session, or I think it might have been over 2 hours with Guy. But it might help you. I'm drinking tea at night now, fruit tea. It's got to rehydrate. I don't think I'm getting enough water. So just looking for roles, says Vincent. Well, we can talk about that. And if you're around tomorrow night, Vincent, get yourself involved with this webinar with Catherine Willis. Blow your mind, mate. She literally casts some of the biggest stuff. And we will have a very, very, open and honest chat about how Catherine is working right now. Read for a role in the Alma's Not Normal pilot last year, which was cast by Catherine Willis, says Steve. Didn't get it, unfortunately, but it's gone to a series. It certainly has. Fantastic series as well. One of our other members in Acts on This was in Alma's Not Normal. Very, very funny series. But yeah, who else is looking for an agent? Alicia, how are you doing with agents? Let us know. And Jessica says, I'm looking for an agent and planning to watch the webinar this week. Let me show you a couple of little bits from it. So I'll show you a mashup, first of all, of how these run. If you've never been on one of these webinars before, here's how we do it. We literally spend, a good 2 hours, 30 minutes generally, just me and the guest to begin with, going over their process, or if it's an agent, their agency, the team, how they work, what they, how they look for clients, how they work with clients, what they're looking for right now. And then for an hour, we bring members of actsonthis.tv on one at a time for a little one-to-one chat. Here's Guy's little mashup, just 2 minutes of what is a 2-hour chat. If you want to get involved, actsonthis.tv. Let's go. I would like to introduce you to tonight's special guest, agent and founder of WGM Atlantic. It's Mr. Guy Howe in the house. Guy, good evening. If you were trying to sign with WGM right now, obviously you know what you like and what you don't like. If you were an actor trying to sign with you, how would you approach it? What would be like the perfect approach?
Yeah.
I'm very, very proactive. I'm very, very, motivated. How do I make that clear in an email without being like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that?
How bold is too bold to approach an agent when you know that you are quite, not rare, but like there's not many of the same casting type?
Do you know what, to be fair, we had a really interesting application from a lovely girl who actually did a self-tape of why she wanted to join the agency, and it was absolutely fucking brilliant.
What are your thoughts about American actors who are based in the UK marketing themselves in a way so that they're kind of, showing off that uniqueness of having an American accent, but then also staying competitive for roles like in an English standard, kind of RP accent?
Is it better that I look for someone like yourself where they've got rep in Manchester and in London?
The North has really evolved over the last few years, which is great, and obviously with Media City, and we've got Leeds, which is great. However, still a lot of the big business, to be honest, is done in London. Now, there's still a lot happening in the North. This is great. But I think when you dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, you'll find all things technically will trace back to London. However, that does not mean you have to be based there.
There's so many decision makers. There's so many pressures. There's so many actors after the same thing. So just because, again, you're not getting in or not getting work, it's not something necessarily that should reflect personally on you. You shouldn't self-doubt. Understand it's human to do so, but there's so much you can't see that goes on. And again, I'm not saying that's sinister, but it goes on, and so much is already in the pipelines. Not with everything, but with a lot. So just take that into account. It's not always you. There's a lot you can't see that happens.
Boom. So that's how it works. Obviously, you just heard a lot of questions there. I'm going to dive deeper on here tonight and just into the answers of a couple of those questions. But that's how it works, guys. We get people on literally asking their personal acting career questions that are no doubt helpful to the 100. Well, I think it's about normally roughly 150, 200 actors on a webinar. But for they'll be relevant to dozens and dozens and dozens of actors that get involved in these, and then the hundreds who watch the replay as well. So if you want any answers to those questions and you want to get involved with future webinars, atsonthis.tv/live. Like I said, we've got a brand new webinar coming up tomorrow night. We do it every single week. Tomorrow night's guest is Catherine Willis, one of the biggest TV comedy casting directors there is. She does drama as well, but has specifically done some massive work when it comes to comedy. So the first thing we're going to dive into then is, you heard Ollie Reynolds. Is Ollie here tonight? I don't know if Ollie's here. Ollie's a great guy. He's an actor who's from Birmingham, moved to London. Who's ever had that dilemma of like, where do I live? Where should I be based? Is it a problem if I'm based outside of London? Am I going to get seen for castings in London? If I'm in Birmingham, I'm not quite in Manchester or London. Is that a problem? If I'm in Manchester, do I lose out on London? If I'm in London, do I lose out on Manchester? You get actors who are super, super paranoid about like, where should I be based? And then, end up going, is it all right for me to put I'm London based on my CV on Spotlight, even if I'm not, just because I've got friends down there I could stay with? All these kind of questions. Ollie has had that dilemma because he's from Birmingham. He just graduated from drama school this year. He did like a 1 year, bit of an express kind of course. Was actually a PT, personal trainer, decided he was going to be an actor, spent a year training, and now has moved to London, just right next to Wembley Stadium. But obviously it costs a fortune. And he's like, you know what, for my first few roles, is it worth me coming to Manchester, where the pond is kind of smaller, but in terms of serial drama, the work is plentiful with Emmerdale, Coronation Street and Hollyoaks on your doorstep? Should I get my first few roles in Manchester so I get established and then move to London so that I can, I sort of have a bit more kudos and I have a bit more currency to work with? Let me know if you've been in that situation where I can see Lindsay's got a hand up. Lindsay McLaren's in the house. She's like, got her hand up, definitely. Let's have a look. Me says Esther. Caroline says yes. Oh, WGM have just started following Brendan. Brendan, man, I'm telling you, reach out, mate. What are you doing? Get yourself involved with Guy. He's such a good guy. He's such a good guy. Guy is such a good guy. Sandra's based in Germany, but yeah, you definitely need to get in the UK if you want to work in the UK. Brendan's saying me, definitely. And yeah, I guess a lot of people are like, where should I be based? Here's Ollie's question. You heard him ask it in the trailer a little bit, and here's a bit more of Guy's answer that'll hopefully, just put your mind at rest if you are in limbo about going, is there a right place to be? There probably isn't a perfect place to be for everything all of the time, but here's Guy's opinion on London and Manchester.
Am I gonna still get opportunities in London because of my agent being based in London, or because they see a Manchester address or something like that, will they ignore that? Or is it better that I, kind of two-part question, is it better that I look for someone like yourself where they've got rep in Manchester and in London?
The North has really evolved over the last few years, which is great. And obviously with Media City, and we've got Leeds, which is great. However, still a lot of the big business, to be honest, is done in London. Now, there's still a lot happening in the North. This is great. But I think when you dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, you'll find all things technically will trace back to London. However, that does not mean you have to be based there. The great thing, as I'm sure everyone knows now, with online technology, especially that first stage, it doesn't matter too much in terms of where you're based. Firstly, the key is just to plan out a strategy where you can earn whatever that looks like and hang in there. Because again, with that first 2 years, everyone's kind of jumping off and giving up, because this whole problem becomes a problem where cost of living gets too expensive. And I think casting directors' minds have opened up a little. I think, again, going back 10 years, I think there was, I love London, but a bit of a snobbery around London where, again, people wouldn't look too much outside of there for serious stuff. Now I think that's changed, to be fair. I think you get a lot of the big casting directors, the Hovers, Nina Gold, all will look anywhere for talent. And I think that's changed. So I think in a good way, it doesn't matter too much as long as you can afford wherever you choose to live, because you've still got to live. And I think what you don't want is your mojo getting sapped. Do you know what I mean? Because you're having to work so much, you lose sight of the acting. So obviously we all know the North is more affordable, but again, to be fair, it doesn't mean even if you're based in Birmingham you would be doing yourself any harm, because again, it's an hour on the train to London or it's an hour to Manchester. That's how it is, but it doesn't mean the North is a problem. If anything, I think it's probably easier to get work in the North, out of the bunch. So if I was starting, I'd probably, maybe Manchester isn't such a bad thing, provided your missus is all right with it. You'll probably find it easier to get your building blocks in, so then if you decide to go to London, at least you've got a decent CV behind you.
actonthis.tv/live if you want to get involved with these webinars when we do them every single week, like I say, including tomorrow night. But yeah, it was a interesting chat with Guy around location, and like you heard there, I think Ollie's pretty much made his mind up, where he's like, actually, you know what, maybe to save on the cost of living, I go to Manchester for a year. I then, work solidly to bag those first 2, 3, 4 serial drama roles in Hollyoaks, Emmerdale, or Coronation Street, which are without a doubt, the most achievable roles when you're first starting out. And then he can then move back down to London, with some currency under his belt. But ultimately, guys, don't get hung up on it. There is no perfect place for you to be. It's like horses for courses, isn't it? There's always going to be opportunities that you can grab when you're in the North that you might not be able to grab when you're in the South, and vice versa. I know there's actors here who, in Ireland as well, and you can fly from Ireland to Heathrow faster than I can get to, from Manchester to Euston. It's like an hour on the plane. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes on the train. So even if you're not on the mainland, I wouldn't let it, limit you. Generally, it's actors getting in their own way, where it's like, they presume no one's going to want to see them in these various areas if they're from different areas, so they don't bother taking the action that's required to get them the result that they want. Andrea has got a bloody good result that she wanted. Andrea says, got my first audition for a recurring role this weekend. Thank you for my amazing agent and brilliant agent, Ross. Andrea is another member of actonthis.tv, like I said, who came on a webinar with incredible casting director turned agent, Janet Hampson. Incredible woman, been in the industry forever, incredibly well connected. Andrea then acted on the webinar. And Andrea, did you get to meet Janet on the webinar when we did it? Or did you just follow up based on Janet's advice on the night? I can't remember. Let me know in the chat. But then signed with Janet, and there you go. Boom. First recurring role audition this weekend, because she took action. I get a little bit frustrated sometimes because I'm just seeing actors complaining that they're not where they want to be, and yet they don't get involved with stuff like this, guys. And it's like, it's so cheap. It's £6 a week for actsonthis.tv. You'd probably spend more than that on a coffee in a week, and you're getting access to the biggest names in the game. And you've got two choices. You either start taking action and you start getting involved with stuff like this and you start getting results, or you keep doing what you've always done and you end up with what you've got right now again and again and again, which, if it's not what you want, is what you're always going to have. You've got to do something you've never done before in order to get something you've never had before. And I just see actors going around in circles for 4 years, do it like just doing the same stuff and expecting a different result. And it's like, if you just took action, I'm bringing you the biggest names on a weekly basis. And I feel if I'm not ramming this down your neck and telling you and pushing you in the community, I'm doing you a massive disservice, because I just believe in it so much. I'm not giving you the hard sell. It's like, if I act on everything that I learned from these sessions as well, and it works for me in my own career. So do come and get involved if you're not involved already. Elizabeth, how you doing? Elizabeth has dropped in. Good to see you. What else is going on in the chat? I'm going to play another clip from Guy's webinar in a second as well. Alex said he flew to Ireland for an audition once, and it was £50 return. That's what I mean, mate. It's cheaper. People in Ireland are like, oh my God, I should move to London. I'm never going to get auditions. It's cheaper to fly from Dublin to London, and faster than it is to get a train ticket from Manchester to Euston. It's crazy. 40 minutes to Manchester by plane from Gatwick as well, says Brendan. So you can do it in 40 minutes if you get on a plane. I don't know how much it is to fly internally in the UK, though, Brendan. I don't know how expensive that is, but it might be cheaper than the train. Sometimes the train is expensive if you've got an audition in London and it's early. It's early in the morning. It's like, peak time. It's pretty bad. So next clip up is, do you know what? I just asked Guy, and this is the thing as well that I like on these webinars, is we just ask the most frank questions. I probably ask questions that, on your behalf, that you'd be too afraid to ask, which is quite cool, because I just feel I can get away with it. And I was just like asking Guy, look, if you were trying to sign with the agent yourself, being, an actor, if you were going to try and sign with you, knowing what you know because you are the agent, what would you do? And here's just a little bit of Guy's answer. He goes into it in much more depth in the full version. Like I say, it's 2 hours long. This is just 2 minutes, but here's a little inkling that just might help you. You never know. If you were trying to sign with WGM right now, obviously you know what you like and what you don't like. If you were an actor trying to sign with you, how would you approach it? What would be like the perfect approach?
Yeah. Let's say, for instance, you've got an actor who does a lot of commercials, but not necessarily hasn't landed too much part work. Going back to that, how I said the Real Housewives of Cheshire have been signed by some big players in the game. You could say, listen, this is my statement. This is what I've earned. So not for us necessarily, but that's a way into certain agencies if you're trying to show a certain value that you're struggling to show. So for me, again, it's about, can you offer something different, to be fair, than maybe what we have? Again, ultimately, it's going to come down to, do we think we can get you work? But do you know what? Our inbox gets full of wonderful actors who, going back to our first part, time, maybe we just don't have the time for. So they can be really, really good actors, but maybe it's just not the right time for us. So then what we wouldn't want to do is take them on, then they're competing internally too much with maybe who we currently rep. And again, I think I said this before, but I've been with certain casting directors where they said, we want 3 max per role. So if your agency's, stacking 10, 7 are missing out. Do you know what I mean? And how can you authentically sell 10 people at once? I don't think you can. I don't think you could do it with 3, to be fair. So I think, we've got to look for our building blocks of, is that something slightly different to what we have? Or again, they might be fresh. We signed a really cool guy at the start of the year. He'd done nothing. But since, he's been in for a load of auditions, to be fair, some really high-end stuff, Netflix series. But again, his charisma is unbelievable. So he was just a little bit different, to be fair. So something unique. But again, there's no right or wrong. Timing, I think, is key. Sometimes you could just be reading that email as you're in the vet surgery. That's as simple as it is. And I think, again, we all forget about that human error. It's the same for us when we sell an actor. Sometimes you've done the best pitch in the world, but maybe they said, all right, that was great, thanks. And that's where it ends. But ultimately, they might just be having a bad day. So it's not to say persist every week, but it's a case of, if you find an agency you really want to join, don't give in, really. Go for it.
Yeah. Once again, adsonthis.tv if you want to listen to the full or you want to watch the full webinar there. It's really interesting what Guy says about timing, and I think a lot of actors write to an agent, they get a no or they get radio silence, and then they get so downhearted and depressed about it that they don't bother, without realizing that actually, like he said, Guy's two dogs, he's got two dogs, both had surgery like literally in the last 2 weeks. So when I was trying to get him on for a webinar, he's like, mate, I just can't this week because I've got to take my dogs to the vet, and then I've got to sit with the dogs and stuff, make sure they're all right. Your email might just land in his inbox on the way that, as he's going out the office, and he's like, you know what, I just don't have time for this right now. You just caught him on a bad day or a stressful day. Don't think that, if you don't get a reply that you shouldn't write again. I mean, not every day, obviously. Give it a reasonable amount of time. But, a no as well, even if you get a no, is never a permanent no. I've had a no off agents in the past, and then I've got back to them 6 months later when I've done something different and I've got another credit under my belt or whatever, and that no has turned into a yes. So don't think, don't just have a downer on yourself if you are sending out to agents right now and you're not hearing anything back, or you are getting no's. It doesn't mean that it's always a no, and it's at times like that where you've got to dig deeper than ever. To keep pushing forward, to keep going. It's like in the gym. It's like when you try to achieve anything. If you try to get a different body composition, whether you try to lose weight or you try to put on muscle, you might lose 3 pounds in a week or whatever, 4 pounds, and the next week you might put a pound on. You don't stop, or I would hope you don't stop. You keep going, and that's what acting's like. Some weeks you'll get a win, other weeks you'll learn. I don't class anything as a loss. I don't think some weeks you win, some weeks you learn. I think some weeks you lose. I think you do learn from every perceived loss, so it's not really a loss. But you've got to keep on going. A couple of questions there. Alicia says, Ross, what's the subscription called, which tells you about TV channels commissioning programs? There's a great magazine called Broadcast. It's really expensive though, Alicia. It's about, do you know what? I don't know what it is. It might be like 200 quid a year or around abouts. I used to subscribe to it when I used to do news articles on adsonthis.tv, but I just stopped doing them. They were too time consuming. I couldn't do everything and publish, commissions and stuff on there, but I used to subscribe to that. Equally, you can find out some cracking news, not as up to date, but on the press sites and the media sites for ITV, BBC and Channel 4, Sky. They all have their own press sites. Generally speaking though, not always, but when a commission is announced, it's pretty much on the day of the read-through or the day after the read-through, which means block one of the show, if it's a 6-parter, that means episodes 1 to 3 will already have been cast. It does mean episodes 4, 5, and 6 won't have been cast yet. So it still doesn't mean you're late or too late if you see a commission announced on one of the news sites that's not like, Broadcast or like, a really early provider. And Broadcast don't get it like super early all the time anyway. I don't know if it's really, I've not been a subscriber for years. I can't vouch and say, yes, it's definitely worth 200 quid. I've not been a subscriber for about 3 years, so I don't know how up-to-date their stuff is anymore. But it doesn't mean if you see stuff on ITV's website, the media site, or BBC's or Channel 4's, that you're too late. It very often won't give you the casting director, but it's very easy to find it out. Even if it's just a quick email or a phone call to the production office, it'll always tell you who's producing it. Literally the production company. And you would just give them a quick ring and just go, listen, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm aware such and such a thing has just been announced. I just wondering if you know the casting director attached to it. And anytime I ever did that, they'd always tell me, and then you can chase them down. But to be fair, your agent should be seeing these things going out on Spotlight if they're a decent agent and they're well connected. So, your agent should be looking out. If you give them a ring and go, listen, I've just noticed this has been commissioned or it's been announced. It's probably been cast for quite a while though. Are you getting briefs through for it? And if they're not, get them to, try and dig it out or try and get on, do a bit of research and, get on the casting director's list so they will receive further briefs. But agents are just like us. Agents are just as scared, honest to God. Like, they're not like these invincible people who just have it all together. Some do, but a lot, because anybody can be an agent. That's the reality of this industry. You can set up tomorrow and go, I'm going to be an agent. You don't have to train. Equally, you don't to be an actor, do you? You just decide. So you'll see a lot of agencies pop up, but a lot of agents think that agenting is just clicking submit on Spotlight, and I don't believe that is the thing. If I had an agency, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd have to do that as part of the job, but I'd be doing a lot more above and beyond to get on casting directors' lists and to be, to sort of be of use to these casting directors. And a lot of agents are just afraid. They're just as afraid of us. They're afraid as us of casting directors. So many actors are afraid, but so are agents. So that's why you've got to land a decent one. Zulika, I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, says, I live close to Amsterdam. Got some people tuning in from Amsterdam tonight. Amazing. Lindsay says, I wish I'd joined Acts on this years ago, to be fair. I'm being so productive each week, and I genuinely feel like I'm sitting in on a workshop each week with the webinars. Lindsay, cracking. That's what I mean. Honestly, guys, get involved. ActsOnThis.tv. Get your membership. It will change your career. Dougal's back. He keeps having issues. What are you having issues with? You get better broadband, Dougal. I'm not having any issues. I don't think anyone else is. I'm not seeing anybody. My feed is good, mate. I've got the green light, which means that it's decent. So maybe just refresh your browser, mate, or close it down and open it back up again. I'm going to play you one more clip from Guy's webinar. Am I? I don't know if I am. I'm playing you the mashup. I've played you Get Inside. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm now going to play you Cat Willis's teaser trailer. Then I'm going to ask you a question. For premium members, I need to get your feedback on something. And then I want to finish at 10 to 10 tonight because I want to play a video that I put out a few months ago that I don't think a lot of you have seen. Or if you have, I think you need to see it again. It's a 10-minute video, so we're going to finish at 10 to 10 with this video. But I want to play it you because it'll inspire you for the week. It'll really motivate you. It's a mashup of 10 years of, I've been running ActsOnThis.tv for 10 years. It's a mashup of 10 years of the best advice I've been given over the last decade. And what I do normally at the end of each feature, well, when I did podcasts anyway, before we got into lockdown and now we do everything on Zoom, I used to ask all of my guests to give me their 3 truths about life in the industry. And I did a mashup of 10 years worth of this. And I want to play it you tonight if you've not seen that before. I just think it's a really cool video. I found it before in the archive and I was like, I've got to play this out again. So we'll finish at 10-2 on that. But I'm going to play you Cat Willis's trailer now. This is happening tomorrow night, right? And if you are not a member of ActsOnThis.tv, I'm not giving you the hard sell here. I'm just inviting you. I'm saying, listen, just come and get a membership for 1 month. You can cancel after month 1 if you want. There is no obligation to carry on. It'll cost you £6 a week. But you will get access to 4 of these live mastermind sessions every Tuesday or Thursday. You get the recording of it as well, so you can catch up if you can't make it live. If you can make it live, you get the chance to jump on camera and speak to the guests one-to-one. But you are literally getting access to the biggest names in the industry. No one else will give you this. No one else does this. Not at this quality and at this level. And not with the recordings as well and the community that we have here. You'll also get access in that month to 2 live Q&A sessions with me that are member only on every other Friday, and a monthly Zoom social meetup as well, where you get to network with people in the community. We do that on the first Saturday of every single month. This is Catherine Willis, one of the biggest casting directors in comedy, in TV, full stop. Also casts a lot of stuff for the States. If you want to work in America, like really big stuff for America as well that often doesn't get shown over here in the UK. She's an amazing woman, dead funny. That's probably why she's gravitated towards comedy. And this is what's going on tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. for all members of ActsOnThis.tv. Actors, it's another week. That means another invite for you guys to another ActsOnThis.tv live online mastermind session. This time it's taking place on Tuesday, September the 15th at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing woman here responsible for casting some absolutely massive TV shows. Recent credits include Idris Elba's In the Long Run and also an upcoming film version of the hilarious People Just Do Nothing. It's casting director Catherine Willis. Catherine, thanks so much for doing this. What are we going to be talking about on Tuesday?
Absolutely whatever anyone wants to talk about, and the casting process entirely from my perspective.
Exactly, we're going to be diving deep. This is the thing, guys. On these, we are getting all of the nuances from every casting director's process, exactly what you need to do in order to be seen by these people. If you want to get involved with this and you want to literally jump on camera and have a little one-to-one, you can jump on camera on the evening, have a chat with me, have a chat with Catherine, and get yourself over to actsonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved with this webinar, but also all future webinars as well. Catherine, I ask every guest this, little bit of pressure on you now. Why don't actors want to miss this webinar in particular?
Because obviously you've spent the weekend watching The Duchess, which means you have devoured Netflix in its entirety and you have nothing else to do.
Exactly. If you have exhausted Netflix, or even if you haven't, you need to be here. Get yourself over to actsonthis.tv/live and we'll see you there. Boom. atsonthis.tv/live if you want to get your membership and you want to join us tomorrow night. Honestly, it's going to be... we've never had Catherine on in 10 years. I started becoming aware of Catherine's work literally in 2011. It's only took me 9 years to get Catherine on the website. So it might be the only time. You never know. It might be the only time. I don't think Catherine does a lot of these kind of things. I've not seen her doing a lot of stuff online. I've not seen her over lockdown doing any webinars at all. So it could be a one night only thing. Like I say, if you can't make it live and you get a membership, you'll still get access to the recording as well. But let me know in the chat if you are going to be there. Because I'm really looking forward to it. I want to see you there. Shelley says broadcast is 322 quid a year. I don't think it's worth it, Alicia. I think we can do research as a community, maybe with social media and stuff, maybe a little bit better than £322 a year. That's a lot of money. That's like a really high-end showreel scene that you could get shot, or even a couple of slightly lower-end scenes shot for that much money. Pretty crazy. That's a lot of money, definitely. Considering that's on this.tv, if you get a yearly membership, it's 224, and you get 50 live broadcasts with a top name, you'd get 100 with me and another 50 socials, so you'd get 200. You get 200 2-hour sessions for 224 quid. It's literally ridiculous value. Do get involved. Jessica said saw a new agency pop up on Twitter this weekend called Blackfriar Talent. They seem to now be called BTM Commercials. Not familiar. It's what I mean, Jess. Unfortunately, there's no regulations over agents, really. There is a PMA, the Personal Management Association, that agents can kind of join. That's kind of like, a bit of a union style thing that will give some agents legitimacy if they're part of it. But not a lot of people look out for that sort of stuff. Again, you just got to be careful. There's a lot of stuff popping up. There's a lot of people being messaged via sites like Star Now and Mandy, like, hey, we've seen your profile, we're really interested in you. And then, like, in the small print, it's like, you've got to pay us £35 to put... I mean, that's bullshit. You've got to pay us £35 to put your headshot on the website. No, I don't have to do that. Like, that's your job, right? You're going to earn 20% of whatever I earn. Use that. Use your commission to put my photo on your website. I'm not paying you to put me... I've never been with an agent who's asked me to pay for their website. I think it's cringe. It's embarrassing. So just be careful, Jess. There's a lot of places that are like, oh, hey, you can join our site and, join our agency, and you've got to get your headshots taken by this particular photographer, and it's £200, and of course they're getting a cut. Nonsense. No legitimate agent would ever ask you for anything like that. You guys who have done the First TV Role Fast Track training with me, that's something that I will be bringing out as a full-blown program later this year. I did it as a one-off event a couple of weekends ago for about 120 actors who were on here. They got, as part of that training, the biggest, most comprehensive database of agents, casting directors, casting assistants, and associates on the planet. Guys, don't give that away to anybody. You've paid decent money for that, so that's yours. But that will be available for people who want to get involved with this program down the line, so that all the research has been done for you. But you guys who are on that training, you've got access to that in your members area. You can check that out. We've vetted as many of those agents as we can, so we know they're legit. I'm not saying there's not a couple on there that we don't know an awful lot about, but we did check out everybody's websites. We checked out their clients, what they were working on. Everyone on that list has clients working in decent stuff. I can't vouch for the personality of the agents or whether they're nice to get along with or anything like that, because there's hundreds on there, or at least nearly 100 in London. There's probably about 30 in Manchester. We've got Wales on there, Ireland as well. But yeah, they're generally pretty. I would imagine they're legit anyway. I can't tell you whether they're actually decent agents, but they're legit in terms of, they're not going to ask you for loads of money to sign with them and stuff like that. And if you do find that one is on there that does, tell me, and I will remove them straight away. So we've got 9 minutes before I'm going to play you this video that I want to finish on tonight. I love it. I really love it. And I can't wait. You know what? You're going to see on this video that I play as well some of the in-person stuff that I used to do for Acts on This in terms of sit-down podcasts that we would film, high-end like video production, really decent quality stuff. And I watch stuff like this and I just miss it. I think one thing I think the pandemic's done, forget acting for a minute, has done for me is it's just made me kind of just think how amazing is it going to feel when hopefully, I mean, I'm all for a vaccine as well. I don't know where you stand on that, and I'm certainly not having a political debate about it. But I'm like, look, if a vaccine is the only way that we kind of like, get through this and we can make people safe, how good is it going to feel that first time you can go to that event and you're not fearful of your life or spreading this disease or people getting ill? It'll just be amazing. And I'm like, I just cannot freaking wait. I'm happy to be patient and wait a few more months or whatever. I'm happy to give up a year of my life, 2 years of my life to live another 60 years healthy. But just think how amazing. Like, I was talking to my mum about it yesterday. I'm like, it's going to be so good. Because, I mean, we were talking about Christmas. It's going to be a bit of a write-off, innit? Let's just be honest. I ain't going to my mum's for Christmas, and my brother's certainly not coming up from London and hit my niece and my nephew and that and mixing with my mum, who's nearly 70. That's not going to happen. So we're probably going to do Christmas on FaceTime this year. But next year, if we can all get together, just think when we have the first act on this meetup, when we can meet up in Manchester and London and have a coffee again and sit next to each other. It's just going to feel amazing. Definitely. Elizabeth said, the best advice I got from Ross was to reactivate my Twitter account. I did so hesitantly and have been cast in 2 plays and auditioned for 3 films since doing so. Also discovered that, to my surprise, so many casting directors and directors and industry professionals hang out there. Learning so much. Thanks, Ross. Elizabeth, they do. Anybody who is not using Twitter as an actor, you're making a mistake. You're really making a massive mistake. And don't convince yourself you don't know technology and you weren't born with it. Neither was I. I'm getting on a bit now. It's my birthday last week. I'm already 38. You just got to learn. You've got to learn. And if you can read, you can learn. It's really, really easy. You just got to read instructions or Google, using Twitter and watch a video. But go to actonthis.tv/Twitter if you want to get a list of 33 of the casting directors that I feel you should be following on Twitter. It's completely free. Put your name and email address in and I'll send it you automatically, like straight away. And if you want the same for Instagram, go to actonthis.tv/Instagram and just put your name in again. So it's actonthis.tv/Twitter, actonthis.tv/Instagram. And you can just get both lists. There's 75 people I think you should follow on Instagram, 33 people I think you should follow on Twitter. And it means when I update the list, because I've got your email address there and your name, and I know you've downloaded that list, I'll send you an updated version, so you'll know exactly what the what the crack is. Let's have a look what people are saying about when we can all get back together. Hopefully, it's going to be exciting. Sharon says I'm getting on a bit. 38, not getting on a bit. I'm not even nearly at half time. Not even nearly at half time. Janet says, I cannot wait to meet up again live. I never missed a meet. You didn't. Janet always came to the meetups in Manchester. And you know what I used to love, Janet? On your way home, you would always do a selfie video on Twitter talking about the meetup and like your biggest takeaways from it, or Instagram, stuff like that. You'd put it on that, which is cool. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. Sandra, when you get yourself over to the UK, you'll be able to jump on the meetups as well. Hopefully, we'll all be able to get together again. Ines says, glad to hear you say this, Ross. What about meeting up again? It's going to be amazing, isn't it? It's going to be so good. Like I say, I think we've got to be ready for having a pretty. So it doesn't have to be. The thing is, it doesn't have to be sad, right? You might be like, oh, I can't get together with my family this year. You have a choice in anything in your life, and this applies to your acting career or not. When you get rejections or you face adversity, you have to. You really have a choice. You have 2 choices, and you can say, look, this is happening to me, or this is happening for me. And when you look at life happening for you and what you can learn from it and how you can grow through it, it's made me so much more appreciative. I speak to my mum now multiple times a day. My mum's blind, so she can't leave the house. And I'm like, she's super isolated. Like, she can't go out on her own. She just can't even go for a walk, So I speak to my mum like multiple times a day now. And I didn't before lockdown. I could go, I still ring her regularly, but, a couple of days. But I'm like, no, so it's made me appreciate my family more. It's made me appreciate my health more. Just sort of like, being really careful and looking out for other people more. It's there's a lot of good. Yes, it's horrific. 50,000 people have lost their lives. It's the worst. If you have a family member who you've lost or is on a ventilator, it's the worst. Nothing I'm going to say is going to go, oh, look how your dad being on a ventilator. Look at it happening for you. You're going to be like, F you, Ross, right? I get it, right? That's the worst. But if you are fortunate enough for that not to have happened to you, then you do have to look at, how can this be happening for you and what good can you get from this that maybe you're not currently seeing, and you just have 2 choices. And it might seem crazy, incongruent. You're like, how can you say there's anything positive about this? But there really will have been some very, very positive things that have come out of this. How many people are here who would have died in road traffic accidents had they not have gone into lockdown? There's a lot of people who are still here because COVID happened. You know, had COVID happened, I can't remember the exact time frame, but maybe 3 or 4 weeks before it did, and America had been locked down, Kobe Bryant would still be alive. He would not have got in that helicopter. It would not have crashed. Like, it blows my mind when you just think of coincidences and timing on things. And in your acting career, it can apply as well. You know, if this rejection didn't happen, then I wouldn't have met this person, and then this opportunity wouldn't have happened, and then this thing that's greater than that rejection wouldn't have come out of that. So you've always got to look at like things happening for you and not to you. And I always say as well in the acting industry, like, you know, you don't have to do any of this. You get to do it. What a privilege it is to be able to choose and live in a country where you're allowed to choose what it is that you strive for in your life, because there are many countries out there where you're just not allowed to do that. Like, it's bad. There's some real heavy shit in some countries that are communist, run by dictators, where you're just not allowed, you know, for various reasons, whether that's like your ethnicity or your sex or whatever that is. You're just not allowed to go for stuff. In this country, you're allowed to do whatever you want. It's such an incredible privilege. So please don't, let's get some perspective and not moan about it. But I can't wait until we can get back together and just hug each other, man. I just miss that. Isn't it weird, you know, when you meet people and you instantly, you know, I'm a bit of a hugger or a handshaker. I instantly want to go in, and I have to still remind myself, oh, no. Like, I don't do 2 meters either. I do, like, you know, 3-4 meters. It's funny. It's like, you know, your instinct is to still have contact with people. I can't wait till we don't actually have to worry about that. What questions are going on here? Because I can see someone saying on the website ? Let me know down the bottom of the comments, because I've missed a few comments, if there's anything that you need clarification with before I play this video. Because I will answer that before I play it, because I'm going to play this video now in exactly 1 minute time. I'm going to play this, and I will love you and leave you. But thanks for hanging out again tonight, guys. Really means the world. If you're here for the first time, you've not hung out with us before, do this every Monday. Please do come back next Monday. Come and join the community. Like I said, I just want to invite you to get involved. Like, these people will vouch for you. It's not snake oil. It's not bullshit. I've been around 10 years. The site is populated by literally the biggest names in the industry: A-list actors, Oscar winners, BAFTA winners, you know, the biggest casting directors, the biggest agents, writers, BAFTA winners again, writing, producing, directing. And we get together every single week, and it really is moving the needle on people's careers. And I don't know what more I need to do to convince people. I just feel I just want to drag people in and just go, look at what you're missing out on. You spent the last year trying to figure this all out on your own. We've done it for you. There's nothing for you to figure out. Pop a pair of headphones in for 90 minutes once a week. We have done all the work for you. You have nothing else to work out. No trial and error. Here's the blueprint. Here's the answers of what you need to do to have more success. So do come and get involved if you want to start experiencing that yourself. Definitely. I'm a tree hugger, and I found that mentally challenging too. I crave a hug, says Tracy. Not had a hug since February. Bloody hell, Tracy. You're gonna have to just, like, we're probably gonna have to buy like mannequins that just have their arms out like this, that we can all just, like, you know, put in our houses and just have a little COVID-free hug with people. Definitely. But yeah, I can't wait for that. Richard, hope you're well, mate, in the States. Have an amazing day, mate. It's the daytime still for you. Have a good one. And you're asking if there's a list of casting associates. So Lindsay, were you one of the fast trackers, Lindsay? I can't remember who was on it exactly. But if you're not, then I will be releasing it's called the Ultimate Contacts Database, and it's got all the casting associates and assistants on the database, as well as agents, casting directors, casting associates, casting assistants, who the casting associates work with, and the casting associates and assistants work with. If you did do the fast track thing, it's actually in the members area, the fast track product on actsonthis.tv. If not, we will be releasing that as a separate product pretty soon. So I will let you guys know when that is out. It's my first hangout, says Eleanor. So inspiring. Eleanor, come and get involved every week. Come and get a membership at actsonthis.tv. Come and join us tomorrow night with casting director Catherine Willis on this closed door mastermind session. We'll change your career. Seriously, join for a month. You'll get 4 of these, not these are free ones. You get 4 premium member only mastermind sessions with a top actor, agent, casting director, writer, producer, director, whoever we get on. Quickly before I play this video, one thing, right? Premium members, give me some feedback. So Des is on ITV right now. It finishes at 10 o'clock. Go and watch it because it's a fantastic drama starring David Tennant. It also stars Jason Watkins and Daniel Mays. Lewis Arnold, who's the director of it, and Luke Neal, who wrote it, along with Victor Jenkins, the casting director who cast it. I would like to do a roundtable member-only mastermind with all of them, with Lewis, who directed it, with Victor, who cast it, with Luke, who wrote it, and with Daniel Mays, who stars in it. We might be able to get David and Jason as well, but I think then we're pushing it in terms of the number of people we've got on one webinar as guests. I want everyone to have a chance at, talking. I'll text Jason and see if he'll be up for it. I don't have David Tennant's number, but Jason might have it. And we'll see maybe if we can maybe we'll split it into 2, but I want initially at least Lewis, Victor, Danny, and Luke, right? Now, Danny's filming at the moment. Okay, he's filming, so it doesn't look... Normally, our next webinar after tomorrow night would be next Thursday. But it looks like Danny wouldn't be able to do that because he is filming right now. So we would have to do it on a weekend. So it might end up having to be a Saturday. Let me know if you could do a Saturday, like a Saturday afternoon. I don't know if maybe a Saturday night, if the boys would want to do it on a Saturday night. It will be recorded 100%. So if you can't make it on that Saturday, it'll still be recorded. But it means that we get such a rounded knowledge of that production. The show's amazing. But it was Lewis had this was his baby for 5 years. Like he was the guy who put this together. We can then talk to Luke about writing it, Victor casting it, and Danny starring in it. So everyone's saying absolutely, can do all days. Alex is working. Alex will get you the recording, mate, definitely. Sharon says defo. Please get David Tennant on. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to. If there's anybody you can get David for me, it's Lewis, Jason, and Danny, to be honest, because they've just worked with him. Again, it'll come down to what David's working on now. I don't know if he is or not, if he's gone straight into something else. But it'd be everyone's saying yes. Sounds like a brilliant idea. Amazing. So right, okay. So if that's cool, it just means that you might not, we might go like a week, as in the weekdays with no webinar, no mastermind session. It would be at the weekend. But Lewis just texted me before. I'll see if he texts me back actually to see if we've got any update on that. So he said, let me get on this, but Danny is filming, so weekend would be better. Yeah, okay. So it probably would be the weekend, but let us know if you got any issues with that. It looks like everybody's cool. Everybody's good with that. I should have kept his number that time he came through on my phone at work. Who cares about GDPR? What was that, Lizzie? I don't know what that is. Right, Saturdays are fine, says Caroline. Amazing. We're going to do it on a Saturday then. I'm going to play you this video, guys. So basically, for those who are new to the community, before lockdown, I did everything in person. Now we do everything on Zoom, and we will get back to in person when we're allowed. But I did everything in person, and I would sit down with casting directors and actors and writers and producers. You'll see Lewis in this actually, while you hear his voice. And I would ask them at the end. We'd go really deep sometimes on their life as well, what makes them tick. And at the end of each podcast, I would say, "Listen, I want 3 truths, 3 things that you now know are true about life that you would like to maybe go back and tell your 21-year-old self or tell a young actor, things that you now know about the the industry." And this is a mashup of, I dread to think how many people are in this. You'll see their names come up on the screen, and there's stock footage. I've made quite a nice little slick video with this, but just listen to this advice because I think it's brilliant, and sometimes I think you need to hear this sort of stuff. You just need a little bit of external motivation sometimes and inspiration just to G you up. And I thought, Monday night, start of the week, why not? It's a good opportunity to play this. So I'm going to play it you now, and then I won't be back on camera. We'll finish after this. But thanks so much for being here. Do come and join us tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. If you're not a member, like I say, actonthis.tv/live. If you want to see the schedule of live calls, or just go to actonthis.tv if you want to find out more about the site. Get a membership, and I would love to see your face on the webinar tomorrow. So here's the 3 truths video. It only took me 10 years to compile this stuff, but thanks so much for being here. Lots of love. I'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, bye for now. What were you doing at 20? business degree.
I thought you were going to say masturbating. Master's degree you were going to say. Well, masturbating. Yeah, 20-year-old Rob was probably doing a bit of that. Don't we all go down that road at some point? I was at university, I think, just finished a business studies degree or doing the last year.
Right, okay. So you've got to imagine now you get to go back and speak to Rob in his last year of university, and you get to offer him just 3 pieces of advice, 3 truths. These are 3 things that you know are true about life that 20 years on, at the age you're at now, for those who don't know how old he is, would either expedite his success or add to his success, so he's even got more than you've had at your age now. So what 3 truths would you share with him?
Firstly, I think it would be to follow my instinct. Generally think that my first instincts on things are born out to be true.
Yeah.
To be relevant. I think people can get, particularly in a busy industry like this, it's quite easy to kind of be influenced by what other people think and learn what your inner voice is saying, and it's probably going to be a lot of trial and error, but
of course,
learning to trust that, because we're all in this industry because our impetus is to make creative decisions, and for that will manifest itself in a different way for each of us.
My first one would be, don't worry about other people and other actors. Don't try and... Sometimes actors have a thing, they have nemesis, someone who goes up, gets the same parts as them or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they always beat them to a same... That's just wasted energy, negativity. So don't compete with anyone else. Compete with yourself. Make yourself better.
I'd also say don't be too hard on yourself. Don't always think that you need to say the right things and be the right person that that particular environment, crowd or gang, whoever you're with, want you to be. Whatever. Just be yourself, and naturally you'll find your own group.
Listen to your instincts. Don't take drugs. And love more yourself and other people.
Don't be too eager to run before you can walk. Enjoy the stages along the way. When you're doing something when you're younger, unfortunately it'll be the last time you ever do it.
Don't be scared to fail. Yeah, like I said earlier, I was really vulnerable, and I'd come out of an audition and I would cry about it and I would think about it constantly for the next week. And I then want to see who got the part instead of me and why. Whereas now I just go, well, I'm going to go to the pub now.
Yeah.
And whoever gets it, if it's not me, brilliant. Well done, you.
You cannot please everybody. And you know what? I think probably only the last maybe 3 years is when I've really realised that it's okay to say no and not have to give an explanation for that.
Not everyone is going to like you.
Yep.
Massive. I think that was I was obviously going to learn that growing up, because I was growing up, so you do. And especially growing up in a soap and being in an adult environment.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to like it. And not everyone, I'm very much a best friend type person. I want a best friend.
Right, okay.
But not everyone is like that. Not everyone is going to be your person. It's okay to, I used to be like, I don't have any friends and this is, oh God, cry. But I have loads of friends. I just don't have one best friend. And that's absolutely fine. And actually, it opens so many more doors when you just have a lot of friends in different areas from different places.
Do not talk badly to yourself.
Oh, self-talk, yeah.
Do not talk badly to yourself. It is so damaging, and that little human inside you, that little 5 or 6 year old, they don't deserve that. They don't deserve to be spoken to badly. Speak to yourself how you would speak to your best friend. Monitor the way you talk to yourself and make sure you're saying the right things, because it really matters.
Don't lose sight of why you were doing it in the first place.
Yep.
And there is an enjoyment to be had from every situation, even if it feels bad.
Yep.
In the moment, the day can feel dreadful, but remind yourself that the worst thing that can happen is that somebody says, it's all right, you don't have to turn up tomorrow.
You're not working nowhere near as hard enough as you think you are.
Are you really working hard enough?
Be happy when you're in a job.
Don't forget to look after yourself.
Have faith, be patient, and be positive.
Don't be afraid to have an opinion.
To maybe have a little bit more self-belief.
Be kind. Be kind to everybody. Always offer help and advice when it's needed. You never know when you might need it yourself.
I'd say never give up, and always think about where you want to be and not what other people are doing, or not where they are, where they are at. And I think it's a really, really tough industry, and you need to have thick skin.
Save money.
Know what you're doing with your money.
Save up for a house.
And it's no joke, is learn how to look after your money.
I should have kept the house, kept the rental income.
You're not an island, that you have a responsibility not just for yourself and your own life, but for the world that you're going to leave behind eventually. And that as important as anything else is making sure that world is left a little bit fairer, kinder, more just, more peaceful, because of your direct interactions with people, but also because of like the work you put in to make the world a better place.
You will get there regardless. Nothing's ever wasted. You're amazing.
Not to take it too seriously, as I think you'll give yourself a breakdown.
Yep.
Believe in what you're doing, and finally don't stop, which again is the most important thing to me. I very much feel myself like a Rocky Balboa of the casting world.
Starting is the hardest thing, so just get going on something. It really is difficult to get going, but once you get going, you get memento, and you'll not want to stop doing it.
Graft and see things through. You know, there's certain ideas that just don't go away, but there's certain things that I've started, and I've got scripts that I've got, and I've not finished the script.
Right.
And, you know, so, and I will finish them all, but it's like, go and see them through.
To be honest, it's difficult when you don't regret anything you've done, I guess. Or what I would do is perhaps just encourage the decision, those marked decisions that I've made along the way.
But you are who you are because of the experiences you've had, and the ups and downs, the negatives, the positives. So anything you say is going to change the journey and who you are in front of you, and what.
Very true. Yeah.
And I think I've got to a place in my life where, you know, I'm incredibly happy and working towards something and working hard. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change any of the positives or negatives I had.
Just keep going, Ryan. Don't let the world out there pressure you into doing something that you might no longer want to do. But if you set that goal for yourself, yeah, just owe it to yourself and
just write, do it, create. You know, whatever that might be. It doesn't have to be a short film, a comedy, whatever. Just create.
Stop worrying.
Have more belief in yourself.
And just trust your instinct.
Probably just keep doing what you're doing. I don't think anyone tells you just to keep doing what you're doing.
To know what it is you want and to ask for that and not settle.
Be honest with yourself. If you don't want it, don't walk away, run away. It's a very cruel industry, or it can be. And if you don't want to be in it, then you're a fool to be in it.
Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry what people think about you. Be yourself.
Don't compare yourself to other people, because, you know, you're unique, aren't you? And you're you, so, you know. And while you're busy comparing yourself to somebody else, guess what? Someone else is comparing themselves to you.
Don't worry about people being jealous. That's a good thing.
Start embracing where you've been, what's happened in your life, and let it mould who you are today, and don't avoid it.
Work hard, believe in yourself, and know that everything will be all right.
Don't give up.
You've got as good a chance as anybody else. You're just as good as all those competitors that you see out there.
Don't be scared of rejection. Have confidence in yourself and decorate your life to the best of your ability before you end up dead.
I'd say talk to your dad more.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know he was going to die. No. And there was things that I would have liked to have known about him, and stories that he started to tell me when I was younger. I was 24 when he died, so we had a few opportunities to kind of go out and have a pint with each other, and, you know, but I didn't, you know, delve as deep as I would have liked. I would have liked to have sat in on a podcast with him, interviewed him.